James Gunn, who is the CEO of DC Studios, has been writing the new Superman movie called Superman Legacy. He is constantly giving updates on the movie, and he has said that he is close to completing the script. A couple days ago, he tweeted hashtag Superman with a picture of him holding a Superman mug, and this very much so might not mean jack, but it might be him saying that the script is done. He was also confirmed to be directing Superman Legacy, which wasn't really a surprise as the movie that's meant to start his whole new universe, and he was writing it, so you'd think he would want to be hands-on with it. The only weird thing is that this wasn't announced by him or anything. He usually is the one to announce something like this, but either way, James Gunn's directing Superman Legacy, and I think that's great news. Mark Ruffalo has made a few comments recently concerning Thor, and normally this wouldn't be anything I would care for, but it kinda caught my eye. He said, I have a soft spot for Chris Hemsworth, so I keep waiting for them to invite me back to the Thor franchise to save it. That's a joke. I'm cancelled. And as he says in his quote, he was joking obviously, but he had a point partially. I do not think Thor Love and Thunder was bad at all. I thought it was pretty great, but it had things that felt like they were missing, which is something I think goes away after a while, but upon like the first watch, it felt like things were missing. It was probably mostly because it was you can say, a new era for Thor, and I think Hulk added so much to Thor Ragnarok, and he did genuinely felt missed in Love and Thunder. I think they implemented the planned Hulk storyline really well in a non-Hulk movie since they weren't actually able to make a Hulk solo movie. And Hulk and Thor were a great duo. I would be so down for them to add Hulk in a Thor 5 when they make one. And again, this isn't Mark Ruffalo hating on Thor or teasing anything, but it's just a little quote that got me thinking. Another comment that was made that got me thinking a little bit was by Cal Dodd, who voiced Wolverine in X-Men the animated series and is coming back to voice Wolverine in X-Men 97. You can say he's kind of coming back and is going to be in the MCU now, which I realized is kind of crazy that two Wolverine actors are coming back and joining the MCU. And both are probably the most iconic portrayals. The comment that Cal Dodd made was, I find it amazing that I have created the voice for Wolverine in 1992 for the X-Men animated series, 92 to 97, and now reprising my role with Disney's X-Men 97, I have not been contacted to play Logan, the new Wolverine game. So he says that he wasn't asked to voice Wolverine in the upcoming Wolverine game, and I thought, how cool would it be if Hugh Jackman voiced the character in this game? I know that might be really far-fetched thinking, but he's coming back for Deadpool 3, and I think he will show up in another project like Secret Wars, and those are coming out in the next few years alongside the Wolverine game. I think he would be able to find some time between do some voice work for this new Wolverine game, but I don't want to discredit Cal Dodd. If he were to voice Wolverine in this game, I would also be happy. There's a new rumor that came out involving Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse that's pretty insane, and it's that Mrs. Chen from the Venom movies will appear. That's maybe not that insane in of itself, but the rumor says she will appear in live action. Mrs. Chen from the Venom movies. You'd think this maybe would be because they're gonna go to Venom's universe at one point, but then wouldn't Venom be the one that would be rumored? And again, this is in live action apparently. The only thing that comes to mind is that movie will really explore every Spider-Man universe that we've seen in movies and TV. So like we can go to the Spider-Man the animated series universe, and that show is animated, so everything will be animated. But then also we go to like the Amazing Spider-Man universe, but because that was a live action movie, the scene will be in live action. So maybe there's a fight breaking out between say Spider-Man 2099 and Miles, and they fall through a different universe. And momentarily they fall into Venom's universe and at Mrs. Chen's store, and they fight a bit in the store before falling to another universe. I don't even know how it feels. It's just such a random rumor, but we'll see when the movie comes out. Batman Caped Crusader is the newest Batman cartoon that's in the works. It was first announced for HBO Max back in May of 2021, but in August of 2022, it wasn't canceled overall, but it was canceled at HBO Max. The show had the option to be picked up by other streaming platforms like Netflix, Hulu, or even Disney Plus, but it has been officially picked up for 2 seasons at Amazon Prime, and I think this is incredible news. Amazon Prime has a beautiful track record of superhero shows. A small one, but so far a perfect one. All 3 seasons of The Boys, great. Season 1 of Invincible, great. It was even recently announced that Amazon Prime will be developing a Spider-Man noir show, and that was also hype. It's cool here Batman Caped Crusader hasn't been cancelled. I know a lot of people are happy about this, and it going to Amazon Prime is just as good of news as this show can get. I don't know if they have any sort of restrictions on this show, but with the assumption they don't, imagine Batman the Animated Series at its darkest times like 3. This really right now has the potential to be the best Batman cartoon and one of the best superhero cartoons. We have a trailer for The Flash Season 9 Episode 6 and a synopsis for Episode 7. Episode 6 just looks terrible. It's the start of the whole interlude episodes where there isn't going to be much of the Flash, and it looks to be a new Caitlyn focused episode, as in like the new Caitlyn character. Again, Ray had one with episode 2 this season, which I didn't really like, but at least that one was doing the Red Death graphic novel, while this one is just a filler episode. It just irritates me so much that we have episodes like this in the final season. And the synopsis for episode 7 reads as: Iris is visited by Nia and Nal as she needs Iris' help. When Iris and Nia fall into a fever dream and explore different possibilities for their lives, Barry, Chester, Allegra, and Cecile desperately try to help them. Meanwhile, Mark entertains Keone, but they have different ideas of what is fun, leaving Keone to feel that Mark is trying to make her something she is not. So this is the episode that Dreamer from Supergirl will return, and it doesn't sound half bad. The Mark and Keone stuff, I guess I finally learned her name, does sound half bad. It sounds full bad, but the Iris and Nia stuff sounds at least fun. It's gonna be another filler episode, but I like the addition of Dreamer. I'm interested how she's gonna fit in, and the concept sounds pretty good, especially now that Iris is pregnant, so I'm assuming the different possibilities will involve her kids. I think it would be so sick if they throw in some kind of Easter egg of hers and Barry's kids from the comics, Dawn and Dawn. I'm happy when they do these interlude episodes and add characters like Dreamer rather than making Allegra or Cecile the focus. So we've recently gotten a lot of news concerning Daredevil Born Again. For starters, John Bernthal was confirmed to be returning as the Punisher, and that's awesome.
I am the Punisher! I'm right here! You want it, I'll give it to you!
He obviously played the Punisher in the Netflix Daredevil show, and now he's coming to the MCU. But as to other characters from that show, well, we had confirmed that Vanessa is being recast. She was played by Evelyn Zerur in the Netflix show, but will be played by Sandrina Holt in the MCU show. I really don't care about this. She was a big part of that show, but didn't actually show up much, so doubt it'll make that much of a difference. But as to other possible recastings that I would care about, is that of Foggy and Karen. Now, it hasn't been specified that they will be recast, just that they might not be in Daredevil Born Again. That could mean they won't be in Season 1, but maybe in Season 2, for example. Or now with the bigger universe in the MCU, they might appear in some other projects, or they might even tie this in with the Blip or something somehow. But with the assumption they will be recast, I would be bummed because I thought they were great characters on that show and the actors were great in those roles, but I wouldn't really be against it. They also have not specified the Netflix shows are canon, and we probably won't know that until the show actually releases. Because like we've just gotten so much conflicting information about that from like actors, rumors, people on the show. Like it's confusing. But with the assumption that it's not canon, I just think it would be so weird to have all the same actors in a whole new show that isn't connected to the previous one. We already have the big guns returning, like Charlie Cox as Daredevil, Vincent D'Onofrio as Kingpin, and now John Bernthal as the Punisher. I think it would serve the show well to at least have a different supporting cast. Again, with the assumption the Netflix show isn't canon, I wouldn't even be against other recastings such as Elektra because I wasn't really a fan of the previous actress. Some other news involving Daredevil is that Daredevil Born Again has officially started filming, and Daredevil alongside Kingpin are set to appear in Echo, which we've known already, but it's being said that they will have key roles in the show. And this hypes me up, but I just hope they don't steal the show too much since it is Echo's show.